you are looking at the chart for square or block. Thank you to Trader Murat for pointing out this ticker. He wanted to remind me that earnings is on Thursday and that there is a gap to the upside that fills at roughly $67. So let's break down the chart for you. We ended the day at $61.88, up nearly 3%. The 52-week low is $38.85. The 52-week high is $87.52. And if you want to take a look at the fundamentals of the company, click on this More Info tab. You can go over the overview, the statements, the stats. The company does not pay a dividend, the earnings report, and the revenue report. But for the purposes of this video, I just go over the technical analysis with you. But for the week, we are down 6% for the 3-month period, nearly 10%, and year to date, down 18%. And under the technicals, it's considered a sell, and under the analysts rating, considered a buy. The 1-year price target is $89, which represents a 45% return from where we are. And speaking of where we are, this is where we landed at $61.88. To the north side takes us to 2 standard deviations, $62.82. I always anticipate price to stay within -2 and 2 standard deviations all day long. And the next target above that, and an outlier and 3 standard deviations, a clear sell signal, $63.40, if that is what you're trying to do, capture gains. And then above that, at another take profit level, $64. I do not anticipate we get to this level, but if we do and we wick up to that 4 standard deviations, you can bet people will take their profits and they will run. They will lock in and they will leave. And now for your targets to the south side, VWAP in the blue is 61.80, the middle of the trend. And in this case, a support where I will anticipate a bounce, 61.64, which is very close to where we are. But definitely we can go down to this level at -2 standard deviations, $60.45, $59.86, and another potential buy-in area, $59.28. And looking left, you can see there's a bounce here. And then we fell back down, went sideways, grinding along the line here where price tends to follow. And then at support, a bounce up to resistance following the middle of the trend, and then up to resistance, and then a sell-off down here, back up, and the cycle repeats itself. I will clean up this gap. So again, I never know when a gap fills. I just extend it and then, clean up the chart. But sometimes I get lazy, and that's why I appreciate it when Murat tells me about a particular ticker, because I don't get a chance to pay attention to all the important ones and the ones that are reporting earnings too. So that took us, we gapped up, so I anticipated it to fill down, and it did at roughly 60.76, and then we melted down even more. And you can see the sell-off at resistance, 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 and resistance here down to support. This is a gap here that I believe he was referring to, and that takes us out to roughly $66.86, $67 if you round up. And I will change this over to green to indicate to the upside. I am in this trade, and unfortunately, I did not pay attention to it. I should have gotten out when there was an opportunity, and now the stock is just retracing, but I do anticipate it to go back up, and I will set a sell limit this time around. So ignore all of these horizontal lines. These are previous support and resistance lines, and then the pink lines are my buy-in lines, and the green are my sell lines. At least they are now. And see anything. I'm not marking anything out. Oh, right here. I'll flip this over on a different time frame so you can see it more easily. But note the sell-off here at resistance, and then obviously plenty of opportunities for trades, but there was a gap apparently I was tracking here, and it closed out to the downside at 66.46 on the way down here. And this one is done as well, no longer a threat to our account to the south side. Obviously there are other threats, not that one. And this one was a threat previously, and again, I have not cleaned up my chart in a very long time. Delete. And then this one touched to the south side here at roughly 64.12. Okay, and I've marked this out on the monthly time frame so I don't have to flip it over. But the lowest we've gone on the monthly is 30, and the highest we've gone is 92. But right now on the 5, we're at 45, plenty of room to move to the upside. Now let's take a look at this on the daily. As you can see, I have many gaps to clean up, including this one. Yeah, I won't waste your time doing this, but I will clean this up, get rid of all the gaps to the downside, all the gaps to the upside, because these have clearly filled and I have not done anything with it. But this one looks like it's still in play. So after the $67 one is a retracement back to 81.48. Remember, that was the high of 87. So this one is still in play on the daily. You're going to get different buy and sell signals depending upon the different time frames you play. So what is this? Oh, this one touched. I'll just do one more and I'll be done. So that's done here. 77.23. Delete. Where's my delete? Down here. Delete. And then this will clean up my chart. I'll spend some time later doing that. This was an old price target that we hit, and clearly, oops, Murat also gave me a heads up on this one. Okay. And then we just went down, and now hopefully we retrace, but it's not going to be easy. All right. So, let me give you some targets. We're at 61.88, so we are right here. I know it's hard to see. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so that middle of the trend is this right here, and that will take us to comfortably $70-ish, 70.85, and that will wipe out this gap. And then that's the other target after that. All right, and to the south side, obviously many levels of support and resistance in between, but I'm just giving you the standard deviations, and that will take us to 50.99. And that would be an excellent area to dollar cost average in if we go that low, who knows? But I'm gonna try to get out maybe back in this area, or maybe this area. We'll see. Now, the next one I want to go over very quickly with you is a trade I am I'm actually still in it, but, oops, stay on. Option R is going to be, and let me correct this so that my price target here. If I switch to the different time frames, unfortunately, oops, the chart gets wonky. I gotta fix this now. Okay, now I'm gonna flip this over to BMY. I got stopped out. I got my sell limit triggered. I wasn't paying attention and I got triggered out. But let's first go over the price targets. We ended the day at 47.56, down more than 3% at the middle of the trend. So I will anticipate, that's the 30-minute. Let me go to the 5. See how that got wonky? It moved my price line. Okay, here we go. Let me do this over again. Okay, ignore all the horizontal lines. And that was a price target that hit. I'll just put that in red. Well, I guess that is red. I'll just leave it alone. Okay, 47.56 VWAP, 48.13, basically at the middle of the trend. To the north side of that, 49.29, 49.86, and 50.45, where I have previously purchased this. And this is no longer in play. That already hit. That's the price target. And the new price target on this one is 50.78. Very close. So I think we will hit it. And did I give you the targets? That's to the north side. Okay, if I didn't, I'm just going to do this again. I got distracted and I don't remember what I did. 46.90, 46.30, and 45.70. So note the bounce here at support down here as well. Now this is a gap that is still in play to the downside. And that will take us to roughly 45.35. And I don't think I'm tracking any gaps to the upside as of right now. But even if you don't play the gaps, the deviations will encompass those gaps eventually. Or most likely, I should say. And the lowest the RSI got on the monthly time frame was 20.72 and 93. All right, the trade that I took and got stopped out is on Monday. Basically, we started running. Let me go. Where is Monday? Right here. We were here. Friday. Yeah, right there. All right. So I bought in down here at $45. I set a sell limit at 51, and that return was a 13.33% return. And it went up to 51.18, but I never again tracked it. At the time, I think I set the sell limit at between 2 and 3 standard deviations, but I wanted to clear 10%. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold this for a long time because I'm not panicked about this one. This one has whipped us around like crazy. But that's a look at BMY and square or block on the 5-minute time frames. And fingers crossed that square takes off on Thursday. And that is a look at both of those tickers. I'll do a couple more, including CrowdStrike and maybe even NVIDIA, which ran today 12%, almost 13%. So congrats if you made some money off of NVIDIA. Thanks for watching. Have a great trading day.